Hey, in this video, this is the third installment of the stuffed rigatoni video. I am going to show you the proper way to boil pasta, how to season the water, how to cook the pasta, and then how to assemble this dish. So I wanted to backtrack a little bit too in talking about the ingredients in the other dish. We're from southern Italy, my family, from Calabria and Naples. And what happened over time is the South had been invaded by the Middle East, many countries from the Middle East. And with that, they brought things like pine nuts, cinnamon, and raisins. So that is prevalent in a lot of my family's cooking. Hence the bit of cinnamon in the ricotta filling for any stuffed pasta. So that's where that comes from. And I had my DNA done. And it was very interesting to me. It showed 87% Italian, 3% Greek, and then the other 10% was Egyptian, Syrian, Iranian, Sardinian, and I think there was one other, Tunisian. So those countries invaded and mixed with the local populations, and then what happens is their cooking traditions all came tumbling through. So that's why you find all of these different variations on things. I'm just sharing with you my family's versions of this. And like I said, any recipe is basically just a guide. If there are things in it you don't like, change it. You're free to do what you want to do. So here I have on the stove a pot of water that has just started to boil. I've got 4 quarts of water. And in order to cook 1 pound of rigatoni, the fattest rigatoni I could find, you have to season the water. And the way you do that is you put 1 ounce of salt per quart. Because if you look, people say, oh, it has to taste like the sea. Well, what does the sea taste like? A lot of people have never been to the ocean. I have as a kid, but haven't been drinking seawater lately. So anyway, for me, in 4 quarts, that means this is 4 tablespoons of salt. This spoon is a 2 tablespoon coffee measure, actually. So I am putting 1 spoonful, and here is the 2nd spoonful of salt. That should make the water perfectly seasoned so that the pasta's texture and flavor will be exactly where you want it. Now, some people will salt the water before they boil it. I never do that for a couple of reasons. The water is denser when you add the salt. It takes longer to boil. I want to get that water boiling, and then I want to get my pasta in there as soon as I can. So I always salt it right before I put my pasta in. And also the boiling action helps dissolve the salt. And just in case, I always give it a quick stir. And then now I will add 1 pound of rigatoni. Now, cooking directions say 12 to 13 minutes. I'm going to actually cook this about 2 minutes short because I'm going to have it baking with liquids. So I'm going to have Alexa set a timer when I'm ready. Shouldn't have said that.
For how long would you like to set the timer?
Never mind, Alexa, cancel that.
Okay, I cancel that.
She's so cooperative. Once this comes back to a boil, I will have it set for 11 minutes. Oh, it's boiling already. Alexa, please set a timer for 11 minutes.
11 minutes timer started.
Okay, so we've got that going. I forgot what I wanted to tell you, but I will remember, I am sure, when I come back. I'm not going to let you sit here and watch me for 11 minutes, although that might be fun. But we will come back when the timer goes off and I've drained that pasta. Okay, the timer has gone off. The pasta is cooked al dente, and I'm going to drain it and prep it to put in the pan. Now, the first thing I'm going to do before I drain all that water is I'm going to take 1 or 2 scoops of the pasta water and put it in the bolognese sauce that I made because it has thickened significantly. and I want it a lot thinner. And the pasta water is the best way because it's seasoned and it's got all that beautiful starch. So we're going to see if that's enough. If two ladles is enough. And I'm thinking it is, but I think I'm going to put just a little bit more. Like half a ladle. Okay. So now I am going to drain this pasta. And then I'm going to do something a little bit differently than I normally would do. Here it is, okay. And I do have pot holders just when I want them. I don't know where they are. So we're going to drain this in the sink. And so they don't stick, I'm going to dump them onto a parchment lined cookie sheet. And I'm going to spread them out. So they can cool a little bit, but they won't stick together, and then I won't sear my fingers off. So some people might rinse this. Most Italians I know would never rinse pasta. You want the starch on it so that the sauce sticks to it. But, you know, this might be an exception. It would be something you can do. The only time I've ever rinsed pasta was when I cook elbow macaroni for, I make John Legend's macaroni and cheese, which I will do on one of these when it's closer to the holidays. It's delicious, and that's the only time I rinse the pasta because I don't want it to cook the egg custard mix, but that's not what this is. I remembered what I wanted to tell you before I turned off the video and when the pasta was boiling. The average serving size of pasta is 2 ounces. So a 16-ounce package, which is what this is, serves 8 people. And that's a generous serving because this is a lot of pasta. So you have to think about that when you have spaghetti or you're cooking spaghetti and you're cooking for 2 people and you cook 8 ounces, that's 4 servings. The pasta servings in a restaurant are a lot different than what we do. Well, any serving in a restaurant is a lot different than we do at home typically. So you would do a 2-ounce pasta, and then you would have your meat and then your contorno in stages, basically. You would never have spaghetti and meatballs together. You would have the spaghetti and the ragu, and then you would have the meatballs, and then you would have your salad at the end. That's just the way an Italian meal would flow. So anyway, we've got these guys. I'm going to put them off to the side. And then I think I'm going to do something that my poor mother would be spinning in her urn. Because at first I thought it was crazy when I saw how this one lady did this. But now I realize why, because the ricotta is so thick. I wanted to lay it on top and let it settle in, but I don't think it's going to go in. So first, before we do that, in my baking dish, my oven is preheated to 375. I'm going to put about a cup, which is about 2 of these ladles of the sauce. Now, the one thing you have to do, find that bay leaf and get rid of it. You don't ever want to eat a bay leaf. That it could hurt you because of the stem is like a needle. Okay, so get rid of that bay leaf. And now I'm going to put two beautiful scoops of this sauce, this bolognese, in the bottom of my dish. So it looks like that. Okay? And now I'm going to stand up all of my pasta. And I'm not going to have you watch me do that either because we'll probably be here for half an hour. So I will get that done and then come back. But you can see me start it. I think watching me start it, you could say you're out of your mind. Because so all you're going to do is try to stand these guys up all around the edges so that they stand up and have the opening so that you can fill them. And what the lady does, which I thought she was crazy, but now I understand why, is she puts the ricotta filling in a Ziploc bag, snips the ends, and then she pipes the filling in each one of these, which I was hoping not to do. So we'll see. And again, if I were making this at home for my family back east, we wouldn't have bothered with this. We would have just tossed the pasta with some sauce and the ricotta filling and added some more pecorino and mozzarella and baked it for a baked ziti type of a thing, or baked pasta. So I've got the little housekeeping gremlin around. She keeps hoping I'm going to drop something, but I'm not. She is diligent, if nothing else, when she's not noisy. So I will continue to do this. I'll come back when we've got everything, all my little soldiers stood up, and then we'll see how we're going to fill this. Okay, I've got all of the pasta that could fit in the container here. I tried to lay it on top and mush it down, and I'm telling you, it was not cooperating. So here we go. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to for the sake of this recipe. But I think the next time what I would do is just mix it all together and do a baked ziti. It's a lot easier. It's a lot faster. It's delicious. And it works, and it feeds a crowd. Like I said, this serves a lot of people. Now, I had some of the pasta left over. It didn't fit. And this is a bigger container than the lady had recommended you use. But that's okay. I'm going to store that leftover pasta with some of the bolognese and have that for meals. Now, again, I've got a clean spoon here, and we are going to get this out of the way. I'm going to snip an end of this and start piping. Again, you can watch me do some of it. I'm not going to force you to watch me do all of this nuttiness. Oh yeah, it's much better. You can get it in to the pasta tubes, and that's what you want. You want this in the pasta tubes. So I'm going to continue doing this, and then you can get it around the pasta tubes as well, because that will help it all stick together. And you fill all of these guys up, and then you top it with more bolognese and more cheese. So I will be back when this task is complete. Okay, I got them filled. I did squeeze it in, and then I just got frustrated, and I laid a ton of the ricotta on top, and I spread it with a spatula and pressed down. So I have confidence that these tubes are filled. They were rather stout, so I think they're all filled. And plus it's pretty heavy, so it feels like it. Now what I'm going to do is put a layer of sauce on top and put some more pecorino and mozzarella, and then pop it in a 375 oven. So here we go with the sauce. This again is about a cup of sauce. Probably, well, I'll do more than that. Get it right to the edges. And then we're going to put some more pecorino on top. A couple of tablespoons of pecorino across the top. And then we will grate some mozzarella, about a half a cup, on top of that. And then I'm going to bake it in a 375 oven. I have to figure out how long. I don't remember. I will check. And I don't remember off the top of my head if it's covered or uncovered or a combination. But that's the pecorino on top. And now we go with the mozzarella again, of my favorite task. Oh, okay. So now I'm going to lay it on the board. I saw this recently on the best way to grate cheese. It's a little bit more stable. Is you lay it down and it fills up inside the grater. Okay, I think I have enough. Plus, I've got these beautiful hunks that I'm going to put on top. So, boy, fresh mozzarella is just so delicious. And I used to make it. I haven't in a while. I might make ricotta, which is the byproduct of making mozzarella. If you make mozzarella, the whey that's left is recooked or ricotta. That's how you get that. Beautiful. Okay, this is lovely. So we're going to get this guy in the oven. Let me just rinse my hands, please. Okay, I've got my towel. And let me just see, I have my notes. Going to bake it for 30 to 35 minutes. Okay, and I'm going to cover this with a piece of sprayed aluminum foil. And the reason you spray it is because you don't want anything to stick. So if you spray it, you will then eliminate any opportunity for all the cheese to come off when you take it out of the oven. So, let's see. I have my avocado oil spray from Thrive Market. You can get it anywhere, actually. I really like the avocado oil spray from Chosen brand that I get at Costco, because the only ingredients like this one is avocado oil. There are no propellants or anything in it. So if you're going to get one like that. Okay, I'm going to cover this. And then in the oven, this is going to go for 35 minutes. We'll come back and we will do an unveiling. Okay, I had left over of the pasta and the filling and the sauce. So this is what it looks like if you were to mix everything together and do what we would call on the East Coast baked ziti. And now I'm going to put the sauce and more cheese on top of it, seal this up, and bake it probably tomorrow and bake it off and bring it to a neighbor for dinner. But this is what would happen if you mixed everything together, which I honestly think is just as delicious and would be a lot of fun to eat as well. Hey, so we're back. The pasta has cooked. It has been resting. I'm going to show you what it looks like after baking it for 30 minutes covered with a piece of greased foil, and then 20 minutes uncovered at a 375-degree oven. So I will get that over here right now for you. This is what it looks like. It's beautiful. It's been sitting about 10 minutes. You really should make this rest about 15 minutes for everything to thoroughly set. But we're going to cut into it, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. And with a little extra sauce on it, we're going to taste it. So here we go. Grab a plate. You could also do this in a springform pan, and you can, after it's set, you can take the sides off. But you still are going to have to scoop it, and it's going to wreck anyway. But anyway, it's an idea if you want to do that. So I'm going to cut into this a little bit. Oops. And put some on my plate and put a little bit of more sauce on it. So the first cut is always pretty nasty. So here we go. It doesn't look too bad. And then we're going to pull a few more out. There we go. And a little bit of sauce, and then we're going to take a taste. This is stuffed rigatoni. Oh my goodness. The flavors remind me of my youth. It's so good. Again, I wouldn't go through the effort of standing them up and filling them like that again. I would toss them all together and bake them as a baked ziti. It is delicious. It's a healthy meal. It's a nutritious meal. It's a filling meal. It feeds a lot of people. You could easily feed 8 people with this casserole. I hope you try it. And again, a shout out to Saucetown for my pasta shirt. I love pasta and 3 other people. And follow me. I'm delightful. Carolyn from BomboloneandBiscotti. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, share it, subscribe to my channel if you're watching this on YouTube. All the information is going to be in the description box. Thank you. Enjoy your meal.